Good morning, this is Send 7 World News in 7 minutes. I'm Stephen Devincenzi. Today is Wednesday, the 27th of March, 2024. Starting in the Americas today. In the United States, the biggest bridge in the city of Baltimore collapsed yesterday after a container ship crashed into it. Some people were rescued, however, at least one person is known to have died, and at least 6 people are still missing. The Singaporean cargo ship Dali lost control from an acceleration problem, causing it to crash into one of the structural columns of the Francis Scott Key Bridge, according to the Singaporean Maritime Authority. After losing control, the ship issued a Mayday call, and bridge workers stopped more vehicles from entering the bridge. There was less traffic on the bridge than usual because the accident happened at 1:30 in the morning. The Port of Baltimore is one of the busiest ports in the United States, with cargo ships continuously passing under the bridge. President Joe Biden said that the federal government will move heaven and earth to reopen the port and rebuild the bridge.
I've directed my team to move heaven and earth to reopen the port and rebuild the bridge as soon as humanly possible. It's my intention that the federal government will pay for the entire cost of reconstructing that bridge.
In Venezuela, opposition candidate for president Corina Yoris has been prevented from registering as a candidate, according to her party Unitary Platform. Yoris was the substitute candidate for popular opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, who had been banned from running in the election. The governments of Colombia, Brazil, Uruguay and Guatemala have condemned the government of President Nicolás Maduro for not allowing a candidate from Unitary Platform. Africa. In Senegal, President-elect Bassirou Diomaye Faye has promised to govern with humility and transparency in a speech accepting that he won Sunday's election. Faye also thanked President Macky Sall and his main opponent Amadou Ba for conceding defeat. Despite protests in recent weeks, many countries and organisations have praised Senegal for holding free and fair elections. Faye will take office next week. In South Africa, the Parliament Speaker has been accused of taking bribes worth over $100,000. Prosecutors said that they intended to charge Speaker Nosiviwe Mapisa-Kakula with corruption for receiving the bribes, which also included a wig. Asia. Thailand has started to send aid into parts of Myanmar controlled by the military junta. The aid is part of a peace initiative by ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, to make a humanitarian corridor. Myanmar has been in a civil war since the military removed the democratically elected government in 2021, and the military government is being fought by ethnic minority groups and pro-democracy groups that control parts of the country. Thomas Andrews, the United Nations Special Rapporteur for Human Rights in Myanmar, has said that aid is most needed in parts of the country that are not controlled by the military.
The problem that we have right now is that humanitarian aid is not going to the areas that need it most. And I'm talking about the conflict areas, the areas outside of SAC administered areas of the country.
In Palestine, there have been reports of people drowning when trying to reach aid, which was accidentally airdropped into the sea. The United States said that during an airdrop on Gaza's beaches on Monday, the parachutes of 3 crates malfunctioned and the aid fell into the sea instead. Gaza's health ministry said that 12 people drowned trying to get to the aid. Over the last 2 months, there have been many reports of deaths during chaotic aid distribution in Gaza. Europe. Russian authorities have released videos of the Moscow Crocus Hall attackers appearing in court. The 4 men are reported to be from Tajikistan and are between 19 and 32 years old. In court, all 4 show signs of being tortured. One man has had his ear cut off by security officials, another is in a wheelchair and is unresponsive, and another has a plastic bag around his neck, suggesting he has been suffocated. President Vladimir Putin has now said that radical Islamists were responsible for the attack. However, he has continued to suggest that Ukraine was somehow involved. In Ukraine, 200,000 people have been left without power for 5 days after mass Russian missile and drone attacks on energy infrastructure over the last week. Most of the blackouts are in Kharkiv, Zaporizhia and Odessa regions. In the United Kingdom, a court has postponed the extradition of WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, saying that the US must first ensure that Assange would not face the death penalty before he would be sent there. Assange is wanted for trial in the US, accused of spying, hacking, and leaking classified documents. And in Hungary, dogs understand nouns, according to new research from Eötvös Loránd University. Researchers monitored the brain activity of dogs while their owners said words for physical objects, and researchers said that dogs were able to recognise words that they had heard before, especially for items that they actually cared about. A big thank you to Antonio in Brazil for becoming our newest supporter. If you would like to have access to the transcripts of every episode and play our weekly news quiz, then you can become a supporter at send7.org. Tomorrow you will be with Ben Mallet. Have a great day.